I regret my actions. I regret offending my coworkers. I pledge to bring my best spirit of honesty, empathy, respect, and open-mindedness, is that even a word? Into the workplace. In this way, I can truly be a hero. Signed, Daffy Duck.
You will always wonder how they fit all those clowns into that one small building. In retrospect, it was probably not a good idea to be using the iron. I'm not legally required.
Hi, welcome to Comedy Parenting Radio, the show that uses car alarms in our parking garage band. Over there we've got Joshua, Josiah, and Elijah. What's with the painter's cap that you're wearing, Joshua?
Well, we thought we would bring a bit of color to the show.
You know, a little bit of red there, a little bit of blue, maybe a little bit of yellow.
And a whole lot of neon green.
Oh, that's because we're going to be talking about painting on the show, and it might be painting like you've never heard before. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You gotta take care of Texas, it's the only one we got. If you're way up in Lubbock or down in Lukenbach, you gotta conserve water, keep the air clean. Take care of Texas, don't you know what I mean, y'all? Kevin Fowler here. Texas has clean air, rivers, and lakes, so let's get outdoors and enjoy them. Visit TakeCareOfTexas.org, pledge to help keep it that way, and we'll mail you a free Texas State Park guide. Take care of Texas, it's the only one we got.
Sponsored by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality in Texas Parks and Wildlife.
You are listening to Comedy Parenting Radio with your host, Jared Bagley.
We're back with Comedy Parenting Radio, and I've got Elijah over there wearing a Bob Ross wig. What are you doing, Elijah?
I found this nice ladder, and I found this great paint bucket, and I'm going to have it on top of the ladder and a string attached to it so I can make happy little accidents.
I hope those accidents aren't when I walk through the door.
We didn't think of that.
We usually don't think of it until you say it.
That's why I don't have any rules in this house.
I thought that was the number 2 rule, that you couldn't talk in front of the microphone. Wait, hold on.
So, you've got a blank canvas. What are you going to paint?
The steady decline of our income.
Mount Vesuvius on the beach.
How can you turn the steady decline of our income into happy little accidents? What are you going to do?
Well, we can flip it upside down.
Touché. Have you ever painted a building, Joshua?
Yes, I have.
Was it bigger than a bread box?
Well, now that you mention it.
Your generation doesn't even know what a bread box is.
Yeah, it's a box that holds bread.
Yeah, but we used to have a bread box to keep the bread from getting stale on your countertop.
That would be nice if we had a countertop.
So what did you paint?
One day, I painted a shed.
Was it a man shed?
It was a gasoline shed.
Oh. It was actually a disguise shed for the Boppo the Clown convention.
You always wonder how they fit all those clowns into that one small building.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a special color for that shed?
Nope. Well, sort of. You mixed all these paints together, and that was the color of the shed.
Whenever you find about 5 or 10 cans of mostly used paint, just mix them all together, and that's the color of your shed.
Some disgusting purple.
Ooh, I forgot about that purple.
You know, there's a whole nother side to painting that most people don't realize, is that you have to sand objects before you paint them. Like if you're doing fine furniture and wood and stuff.
I'm not legally required.
Not legally.
Okay, so that kind of brings up the point, fine furniture as opposed to the furniture that people make where they beat on it with chains and hammers and stuff like that and try to make it look distressed and old.
There's a bit of a difference there.
You don't go into the New York Stock Exchange and sit down around furniture that looks like it's 100 years old, and you can tell it was just done by some Amish guy.
Yep. Although furniture that was 100 years old is probably done by an Amish guy.
I got my first real 6-string, bought it at the 5 and dime, played it till my fingers bled, was the summer of 69. Inflatable Lobster Claws is having a huge blowout sale.
Get it? Blowout sale?
Currently, you can get our inflatable lobster claws at buy one, get one free.
Now that's a good deal.
These oversized inflatable claws are perfect for back to school, bar mitzvahs, and weddings.
Well, maybe not bar mitzvahs.
Well, maybe not bar mitzvahs.
Inflatable lobster claws come with a lifetime guarantee for as long as you want to own them.
And with our buy one, get one sale, you're guaranteed the time of your life.
You can mix and match lobster claws.
For example,
You can order 2 left claws or 2 right claws to wear at ball game.
here's a testimonial from one of our satisfied customers.
My son bought me 2 inflatable lobster claws for Father's Day. Since then, everybody in the family has ordered a pair. We wear them everywhere we go, from business meetings to Chinese restaurants, and even in the voting booth.
If you like red plastic,
And who doesn't?
order your inflatable lobster claws today.
Why are there suddenly 3 people up there next to the king?
That one is the cupbearer. The second one is the scribe. The third one plays episodes of Comedy Parenting Radio.
When I was a kid, my grandfather got the cheapest contractor humanly possible to paint his barn.
Oh, really?
Ouch.
Who? His grandkids?
No. I could have done as good a job or better.
I'm assuming by the way you're saying that it turned out poorly.
Well, let's put it this way. If there's anything in the world that looks really bad, it's something that's really big and really bad. So an entire barn painted not quite the right color.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of an off red.
Oh, that's not good.
Kind of like your Jeep?
Pretty much the exact same color.
Did they come back 50 years later and paint happy little doves all over it?
It's a good point. There were real doves on it. I wonder if bad paintings attract happy little doves.
But did you ever get to paint for your grandfather?
Get to? When it's 95 degrees out, I don't think painting with an old brush is like the thing, but
You don't really get to paint for your grandfather. You have to paint for your grandfather.
yeah. I painted the woodshed.
I'm sure you've spent a lot of time out behind that.
The woodshed at his place was huge. Think of a tiny home.
Mm-hmm.
Put about 6 tiny homes together. That was the size of his woodshed.
That's a big woodshed. That's
Yeah.
more like a barn.
Yeah, so they just kept getting me more and more cans of white paint.
Most people were taken to the woodshed for not happy little things.
We're just going to take this happy little dove and take him to the woodshed. What about children's paintings that end up on the refrigerator?
What about them? You
Do
would
they
know a lot.
ever get thrown away, ever?
It's kind of like they just sit on the fridge for a couple of years and then they just slowly disappear and you just never realize or ever figure out how in the world they disappeared.
I'll bet there's a land of children's finger paintings where all of these finger paintings end up.
It's actually my new business, selling them as modern art.
As the child grows older, the paintings morph into other people's Christmas cards. Speaking of finger painting, that's a mess, isn't it?
That's half the reason you want to do it.
I remember every time I would do finger painting as a toddler, I would end up coming out looking like a personified rainbow.
When I was in kindergarten and we did finger painting, we wore bibs that I think you could have gone into nuclear labs wearing these things. They covered everything other than your mouth.
You're sure it wasn't a painting smock?
It was a big smock. These must have been like smocks for the old folks' homes, and we got them cheap, and they gave them to the kindergartners.
They supply both the old folks' homes and the kindergartens.
The smocks have a GPS in there in case you go wandering off.
But here's the thing, whenever you wear a schmuck, you're sure to have...
Continue.
You're sure to have 10 plus schmoxy.
I don't know what 10 plus schmoxy is.
Plus 10 moxie.
I don't know what plus 10 moxie is.
Schmoxy.
He says schmoxy.
Schmoxy. You're sure to have more schmoxy.
You ever see peeling paint?
All the time.
Where's the best place to see peeling paint?
Our house.
Where's the coolest place to see peeling paint?
Our house.
How about...
Where's the worst place to see peeling paint?
The Statue of Liberty.
You're standing there in this giant... Wait a minute.
It's not painted.
It's not painted.
That's why it's the worst thing. Because if you see paint there in the first place, that's already pretty bad.
Can you imagine, like, giant chunks of paint falling off of her arm?
No.
Like, big sheets of it raining down from the sky?
Yes.
There's going to be a movie about that someday.
There will be.
Paint falling from the sky. Look up. It's the Statue of Liberty peeling.
Like, it's post-apocalyptic New York, and they're going through there, and then they're getting rained on by giant things.
And there's a taxi.
I'm walking here.
Me and Earl was hauling chickens on the flatbed out of Wiggins, and we'd spent all night on the uphill side of 37 miles.
Speak up, because you can. Your mind is a powerful tool, and so is your freedom of speech. So use it. It's what separates you from being a number to being an individual. Thoughts, beliefs, opinions, creativity. It's what makes you, you. Stand proud and say it loud. Know your rights. Know your freedom to speak. This message is brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters, Education Foundation, and the Broadcast Education Association.
Comedy Parenting Radio, vetoed #1 by Parents Magazine.
That's voted #1. Voted #1 by Parents Magazine.
No, look. The article says vetoed #1.
Oh, never mind.
Have you ever made a mistake while painting something?
Painting was the mistake. We should have just burned this thing or pushed it over a cliff.
I remember when I was painting a long time ago when I was young, and I was using a roller on a stick. I was not that strong, so I would stick the roller up there. I would go, stick the roller up, and then I'd take it down, and it would go blap on the floor.
Onto the dirt.
That's the problem when you have 7 kids and you try to teach them to paint.
Mm-hmm.
You have more paint rollers just end up on the dirt.
Yep.
Or sawdust.
In retrospect, it was probably not a good idea to be using the iron... What are they? The iron...
Butterfly?
Never mind.
That was the band.
I remember when I was probably 6 or 7 year old, I had about a quart of paint, and I remember spilling it all over the deck. And I think that's why the deck is that similar color.
I've knocked over my fair share of paint cans.
You know what's one of the best things about paint?
What?
It'll impress your friends when you paint your house. The good color, it's all perfect, crisp corners, different colors for the trim on the windows and doors.
Perhaps that's why our friends are never impressed.
No crisp corners here. We're not those kind of people.
The only thing that's crisp around here is Dad's cooking.
Funny how my cooking always wins the day.
I mean, it did win the nighttime chef competition.
It also won the competition to be used as the Olympic torch.
Is that the guy running by with the Olympic torch?
No, that's Mr. Begley. He's got burnt pancakes. He's trying to get him out of the house.
When Dad makes flamin' hot chicken, he makes flamin' hot chicken.
What else about painting that we haven't talked about?
You know we do a lot of staining.
Well, we'll save staining for another show.
Staining?
Why?
Like tobacco teeth on juice?
Yeah, pretty much.
Some paintings are so bad, you have to stand all the way back in China to see them.
The only problem with having to look at a painting from a long ways away is you can't even see the signature, so you don't know who it's by.
You're standing a long way from a painting looking at it, and people tap you on the shoulder and go, "Are you looking at that painting, or are you in line for the snack bar?"
I mean, the painting is of a bowl of fruit.
You know, there are some really bizarre-looking paintings.
Such as?
The Scream.
The Scream?
Like, whose head looks like a gourd?
Gordon Ramsay. I don't even know who Gordon Ramsay is.
I mean, his head does look a bit like a squash.
Who's Gordon Ramsay?
He's a famous, very mad and angry chef. I wouldn't make him mad.
Never make your chef mad, unless you're already leaving the restaurant.
In which case, never come back.
I'm bringing a cupbearer next time I come here. Despite the fact that you could have done something productive, you've been listening to Comedy Parenting Radio. We were talking about painting. Thanks for coming out today, gang.
You're welcome.
Dad, what do you want me to do with this bucket of paint?
Josh, give that here. Dad has some investors coming over later. I'm going to put it up on top of the door.
I don't know what you guys were talking about over there, but we got to go. Bye-bye. Cut. That's a wrap.
What do you guys want to do now that we're done with the show?
Let's go paint the town red.